That's right, I'm starting the year with Spider-Punk. Hello, this is Ken. I like making things. I like making things out of paper, and I like making things cooler. Especially my figures. Sometimes figures don't look all that screen accurate. All they need is a bit of touch-up here and there to unleash their hidden potential. I also love using everyday tools and materials to recreate iconic scenes from my figures, so they can shine on my display. Subscribe to my channel and join my DIY adventure as I ask myself the same question every week. Can I make it? Last week, I looked back at all the figures and displays I've done in 2023 and picked my favorites. Most of them were MCU characters, but I did do a few animated characters such as Carnage and the Spider-Verse figures. I told myself I wasn't gonna get the entire Spider-Verse wave, because if I get the entire wave for every release, I'm gonna run out of room in no time. So I only got Miles and Spider-Man 2099 since they were the two main characters. I also got Cyborg Spider-Woman because I liked her design, and the Toy Biz Cyborg Spider-Man was one of my first Spider-Man figures as a kid. But so many of you asked me to do Spider-Punk as well. It was the most requested figure and I can see why. But because of how popular Spider-Punk is, this figure was sold out for the longest time. I didn't think I was going to be able to get my hands on one. But then, one day, I saw one in the wild, just sitting on the shelf by himself, staring at me in the eyes, asking me to bring him home. Let's deconstruct this figure. There's an FAQ on the paint and brushes I use in the description box below. I was hesitant on getting Spider-Punk, not because it's not a cool figure, but because I didn't think I can improve him. He's only missing some minor details, it seems. That said, the unique thing about Spider-Punk in the Spider-Verse movie is that his art style is constantly changing. It's very hand-drawn, sometimes like a collage, other times like paper cutouts. His colors often shifts as well. This is something I don't know how to tackle. Cell shading is already difficult enough. This is like another level of a challenge. But I like starting the year with a figure that seems impossible to do, to test my skills and hopefully learn something new. I did Quicksilver 2 years ago and Cersei last year, so I thought it would be fitting for me to do Spider-Punk as my first video of 2024. Maybe I'll feel more confident doing 2D characters after this. I'm gonna start with the easiest part, mattifying the figure. Spider-Punk has a very 2D look in the movie. I won't be able to replicate the paper cutout look, but I can at least remove the plastic shine. So I'm gonna first paint over all the red areas. I don't mind the red they used. It's a very nice neon red, but I personally think the plastic shine cheapens the look of the figure, and it clashes with the movie's art style. And to go with the red, I'm gonna use this neon blue on the figure. This particular paint is very sheer, but I like how vibrant this blue is. The last time I used it on Symbiote Spider-Man, and the blue really popped. I'm also going to paint over the straps. I want to add more details to them later. I personally prefer having a base layer of paint on the surface before I add small details. And the last thing to mattify are his clothes. Onto his mohawk. I am going to mattify it as well. Having it silver just doesn't look right for that 2D hand-drawn look. It pains me to paint over them with the white, but I think the silver paint will bother me more if I leave it as is. When I look at reference images of Spider-Punk, the spikes and the studs aren't actually silver, they are white. They use flat colors with no gradients. So that's what I'm going to do as well. Oh, look at all those unpainted studs. There are so many. Alright, let me add the missing details on the boots as well. Gotta paint all the eyelids white. Okay, the easy stuff is done. Now the real challenge begins. I'm gonna approach it like it's cell shading. The issue is that I can't help but blend everything out when I paint. I like making things look more lifelike, or more 3D. That is why I tend to avoid painting 2D characters. 2D characters have harsh lines between flat colors. But for me, I love blending out the shading color until it looks seamless. It actually takes a lot of effort to stop myself from doing that. It just feels wrong to me, you know? Okay, this also looks wrong. I don't like what I'm doing here. I'm gonna undo this by painting the boots red again. Attempt number 2. This time, I'm gonna swipe my brush sideways to create these horizontal strokes instead, to mimic the cross-hatching technique done by pens or markers. It still feels really weird, but I prefer how this looks more. It still doesn't look that good, so let me emphasize the edges a bit more. Okay, I think this may work. Let me do the same to the other body parts. I just need to not let myself overblend everything. I want the figure to look like there are imperfect smudges here and there. Now that I feel a little braver, let me try some colors on this mohawk. A light blue should work. Nope. Okay, I wiped off most of it. It needs to be more strokey. It needs to look like an artist drew the mohawk on. Kind of like a paint splatter look, but in strokes. Okay, I think I finally got the look I'm going for. That was hard, but I feel more loose now. I just have to let go of the control, and just let the paint be paint. So let me try this on the shirt too. I'm gonna add some highlights with the light blue, but I'm gonna keep the strokes very rough. There are still some missing details on the boots. The soles should be a different color, so I'm gonna paint them gray. And while I have the gray ready, let me add even more details to his outfit, and add some outlines to the various elements. Oh, I haven't done anything to his pants yet. There's this patch right above his knee. It is very easy to miss, so let's bring it back out. And I believe there's a spider on this patch. Okay, back to the boots. The paint on the soles has dried. Time to add some shading and highlights there as well. Alright, I added even more details off screen. It's not very obvious, but I added some black outlines to his shirt. And there's only one area left to work on, the back of his vest. There are these patches and buttons that needs to be painted. For once, I'm happy that I don't have to blend everything to perfection. I can just roughly block out the shapes and this should look fine. Can't forget the guitar. First, a quick layer of light blue over the straps, so I can add more details later. Now onto the guitar itself. Let me deepen the color of the neck with a dark brown, and I'm going to do the same to the sides as well, so it looks more solid and heavy. There appears to be random stickers up at the top. I'm just going to randomly add splotches of paint there. There's still quite a bit of missing details. I'm going to work on them off screen. Be right back. There we go. The guitar doesn't look unpainted anymore. And here's Spider-Punk all finished. I worked on some of the more finer details off screen, like the details on the straps and on the pants. It is hard to tell from afar, but there are painted details everywhere on the figure now. But then I still question myself. Did I do a good job? At a glance, he kinda looks the same, but I know I added a ton of details. Besides that, I kinda finally loosen up and allow myself to be messy on purpose. This is not how I approach figures normally, but I'm happy I tried this. Spider-Punk is a great figure. The proportions may be wonky, but it works. It's so stylish and cool. But I need to feel comfortable working on 2D characters, and Spider-Punk is the perfect figure to do it with, because rules don't really apply to him when it comes to art style. I still need to work on more figures to truly feel comfortable doing 2D characters, but this is a great step forward. What do you think? Do you like what I've done? Does Spider-Punk look more hand-drawn or 2D? Let me know down below. Alright, let's end this for the photo shoot. I can totally see why people love this figure. He's just so easy to pose. I'm not that good at doing super dynamic or dramatic poses, but I had a lot of fun posing him. The only complaint I have is how soft or rubbery this figure feels. Sometimes I feel like I'm about to break the joints. Otherwise, this is a well-made figure. Spider-Punk is very photogenic. I do wish it came with one more extra pair of hands. The hands they provided are good, but it feels like he can only do very specific poses. But even with just the 3 hands they provided, I was still able to do quite a variety of poses. I don't know how to play the guitar, but I feel like I pulled off some really cool guitar poses. Alright, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I finally did Spider-Punk. Now I feel like I should make a Spider-Verse display. Anyway, give it a like and subscribe to see more content like this. And as always, stay inspired and I'll see you next week. I can make it, so can you.